All right, so you're more than halfway through. Very exciting. You're on the second half. Again, okay. So, who, I'm going to ask again, who is excited about working with sellers or learning about working with sellers? Okay. Who's got a little bit of apprehension about working with sellers? Okay, good. Thank you for the transparency and the honesty. I appreciate it.
Not applicable. I said
Huh?
not
Not
applicable.
applicable? Okay.
The
All right.
the the fear
The fear,
is
you're
not
not letting it get
applicable.
to you, or you're not afraid?
Not afraid.
Okay. All right. I like that.
That's what I
Okay.
meant. Yeah.
Okay, well, good. There's a, listen. So, okay, as we get started, now that it's 6:02, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Jolie Abreu, and I am a real estate agent. I'm also a productivity coach and director of growth at my market center in Farmington Hills, Michigan. I'm dual licensed. We're originally from Farmington Hills, Michigan, is a suburb of Detroit, about 45 minutes northwest of Detroit, about 30 minutes north of Ann Arbor. So we're kind of in the Southeast Michigan general area. We're originally from Florida, where I was originally licensed 25 years ago. So I'm entering my 24th year as a real estate agent. And about almost 3 years ago, I was offered the role as productivity coach, helping mostly new agents. As well, I have a couple agents that I coach that have been in the business as long as I have, basically get either their business up and running or revamp their business and get their business to where they want it to be. And what I have learned over the past few years is a lot of real estate agents, brand new and existing, because one of my agents that's been in the business over 15 years, she also was hesitant, did not want to focus on working with sellers because the thought process is it's harder. They're going to ask more questions. They have more expectations. And what I would encourage you to consider is buyers are actually harder. Who has thoughts around that?
I had a
Uh,
I had
yeah,
a
William.
hello. I
Yeah.
had a buyer that I had to show about 15 houses. So to me that
Mhm.
was hard.
Yeah. 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 15 houses, and God forbid they wrote, at least one offer in there. Did inspections change their mind? You had to start over.
Get three offers. The fourth one
Exactly.
won.
So from a time standpoint, you spend more time, generally speaking, than about two-thirds more, about 33%, no, 66%. It's about a third of the time less to work with a seller than it is to work with a buyer. So anybody else have any thoughts around that?
Managing expectations,
Managing the expectations, yeah, of the seller
quality
versus the
versus
buyer, or you
cost.
think it's harder to manage the seller versus the buyer?
Buyer, because buyer's trying to upgrade, so it
Sometimes,
has a known quantity,
yeah, yeah,
and it's not a matter of expectations; it's a matter of
yeah,
just getting it done. But the buyer wants to move into a magical new house, and they're not always there for them.
yeah, yeah. The magical new house, the unicorn. A
Right.
lot of them are looking for the unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We have about 73 in now. I've been hearing it's hovering around 200, so that's why I'm going to kind of give it a minute because I want to be able to maintain the waiting room, the admitting people, because there's going to come a certain point where it's going to slow down, but I don't want to start my presentation and then have 55 people in the waiting room. So anyways, okay. Who wants to share an aha from this half? So you're halfway through Ignite. So what's your big, and raise your digital hand because now we got some more people in. So raise your digital, do you all know how to raise your hand in the Zoom room? You hit the react button, the little heart, and click raise hand. So raise your digital hand and let me know what aha or takeaway you've got so far from halfway through Ignite. Doug.
Oh yeah, I like the buyer and seller. It's thrown some light in what I've been learning, what I've been trying to get buyers and sellers. Actually, I mainly looking at buyers. That's why I
Okay.
chose that one. It's helping me understand my experiences and bring them into context. I took
Yeah.
the NI classes already a few months ago.
Okay.
They're focusing on getting buyers, and now I'm going back to it again and
Okay,
see
good.
new, fresh insights into that based on my experience.
Yeah. I recommend agents take Ignite at least once a year.
Hmm.
You know, most market centers will offer it once a quarter. And it's a great course to just kind of refresh. And once you hit a certain point, and I would suggest that point's going to be sooner rather than later, offer to teach one of the sessions. Fun fact, I during COVID, I was struggling with time management. And I was scattered, like Zoom school, the whole thing, right? Like everybody working, like my husband working from home, like it was chaotic. And I said to my team leader, I'm really struggling with time management. And she said, teach the class GPS 411. And I'm like, excuse me? I said, you're not hearing me. I'm struggling with time management. And you want me to teach a class about time management? She said, yes. And it's going to help you learn more about time management. And she was right. It took me 3 times teaching the GPS and 411 before it clicked. And now I love a GPS and 411. And I can't imagine. I can write a GPS for any business, any scenario, for an event, for whatever it is, with my eyes closed. And it makes all the difference. So if you have a topic area thing that you're, struggling with a little bit, but you have basic concepts of, I would encourage you to teach a class about it because you're going to learn more by teaching. And the reason why is because you have to prepare to teach the class. So by preparing to teach the class, you're going to do more than learn the class. Anyways. Okay. All right, good. So we're at about 83. I think I'm gonna, does anybody else have any ahas or shares from the what's the name of the class that I taught? Is it GPS and 411? It's based on concepts out of the book, The One Thing. Yeah, time blocking, definitely primary focus. Who has, okay, after recently moving and being new to the area, my aha is realizing that open houses are likely going to be the best way for me to generate leads and meet buyers and sellers. Yes, 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 Dylan, and triple yes. When we moved here from Florida 11 years ago, I knew 0 people. I had been a real estate agent for 15 years, so I knew how to do the job, but I didn't know the human beings that I was going to work with, right? So my source of business at the beginning was open houses, open houses, open houses, and more open houses. I also joined the Chamber of Commerce. I got into networking groups, and I started a local group for moms on Facebook. My local Facebook group now has almost 3,500 members, and it's half my business comes from that group. So think outside the box, connect with your community, and open houses. Open houses are the fastest way to business because those people are ready to buy a house. And don't tell me that there just happened to be, I have had agents say, well, they said they were just driving by and stopped. I'm sorry. If you think somebody's driving in their car, sees an open house sign, and decides to stop, park their car, get out of their car, walk up to the door, interrupt whatever plans they were on their way to do, and walk into that house just because, there's a need there. So it's our job to uncover that. Anyways, okay, who else has an aha from that first half? Or something you implemented from the first half that maybe you were surprised or not surprised that it worked? William?
Yeah, it's pushing me to build my SOI and reach out to them more. So I've been
Okay, and
doing a lot
how's
of
that
messaging.
working?
So far, so good. I got to buy and sell maybe.
I
Uh,
love that. I love
done
that.
a
Okay,
done an open house last week and last weekend had some success with that. So I've
fantastic.
added quite a bit of people to my SOI, so that's nice.
I love that. I love that. Great. Okay, awesome. All right. Does anybody else have anything as I open up my presentation? No? Okay, and I apologize. We do have 2 dogs. So you may or may not hear some barking, squawking, squeaking, whatever is going on in their world. So I apologize in advance. If you have any questions, because now I have you guys smaller on my screen, if you have a question, please raise your digital hand and do your best if you're not actively sharing to stay on mute. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. So qualify potential buyers and sellers. Really, we're talking about sellers. So we're just going to skip into that. Okay. So we already talked about, well, this is kind of where you have come from, and this is where we're at. And so then we're going to talk about finding sellers, classify able, ready, and willing sellers, and then qualify A sellers in preparation for an appointment. Okay, so from the Shift book, Gary Keller wrote, your number one job as a real estate agent is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. The second half of this quote really contains an important word, the word motivated. So when we follow the 80-20 principle, have you all heard of the 6 personal perspectives at this point? I'm hoping so. No? 6 personal perspectives? Okay. Well, that's in the one thing. 6 personal perspectives. 6 personal perspectives is a concept that's out of the One Thing book as well. You hear me talk about the One Thing a lot. It's my favorite of Gary Keller's books. But the 80-20 principle is Pareto's principle, and it's by the top 20% of results will come, or the top 20% of results will come from the 80% of the work that you do. Okay, so we want to focus on the top 80% of our work will focus on the top 20% of what we do. So we want our top 20% to be focused on motivated buyers and sellers. Okay. So first of all, we're going to find the motivated. When you're new as a new agent, it could be easy to get caught up in the idea that, well, I'm brand new. And exactly like I said at the beginning, a lot of new agents get into the business and think, well, I'm going to work with buyers because it's easier. Because sellers are going to be more challenging. They're going to ask more questions, right? What other limiting beliefs do you think agents have around, or what limiting beliefs do you have around sellers that we might not have covered? Preparing for client meetings and knowing what they might need or ask, right?
Commission negotiation.
Huh?
Commission negotiation.
Commission negotiation. Okay. Well, you do know you have to do that on the buy side as well, right? Know your value, right? Pricing home and repairs. Okay. Okay. What else? Sorry. What else? What other? Oh, price it high and negotiate low. CMA. Okay. A lot of things around pricing. Okay. Pricing is very important, especially in today's market. I don't care where you are, the buyers are getting pickier. Even if you're technically still in the seller's market, the buyers are getting pickier. Don't need to fix anything, the buyer will fix it. What do you mean by that, Melissa? That the sellers say they don't need to fix anything?
Yeah, that
Okay.
like the seller says, I don't need to fix anything, but the buyer can handle it. So like minor repairs equal major payoffs, or buyer sees flaws in the money as like the offers and like a reason to walk away.
So you're talking about, like, in a sense, negotiating with the seller before they even put the house on the market,
Mm-hmm.
talking through all that. Okay. Okay. Marketing and staging. Okay. What I might suggest, it might surprise you to know that um, once you get the listing, especially considering the fact that you're with Keller Williams, and I'm hoping a lot of you are in your productivity coaching program or some sort of coaching program or some sort of mentor or your team leader. If you're in this room, somebody invited you in here. So whoever invited you in to take this class is there to offer help and support. So that part of it will work itself out. The most important part is getting the listing or getting the buyer signed, right? a fun story here for me a few years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago, 4 years ago or something. No, I don't know. It was after COVID or something, I think. No, it was kind of in the middle of COVID because the market was moving really quickly. And I went on a listing appointment. And mind you, I've been a real estate agent for a long time. So I do have a clue. And I also don't have the fanciest listing presentation. My thing is I'm very straightforward with my clients. I'm there. I'm there to help. I'm there to consult. I answer my phone. I respond in a timely manner. And because I respond in a timely manner, I got a listing, beat out a team, a mega team of like, I don't know, 200, 300 agents who had a very fancy presentation, looked like a magazine, and told them that their whole thing was video, 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 video. They were going to market this house to out of town, it was a condo, to out of town buyers using video. When I tell you that was not where the buyer was going to come from, and certainly is not where the buyer came from, I knew that going into that appointment. And I said to the seller, your buyer is not going to come from out of town. This is an 1,100 square foot condo in a highly desirable school district. Your buyer is going to be somebody looking to get into a starter price point that wants to be in the school district, then they're going to come from local. They're going to be a local buyer. And we were in an extreme seller's market. I knew we didn't need video to find the buyer because we were going to get a lot of interest. Well, she originally was going to go with the other agent because of the fancy presentation, because of the video, because of all these things. She had a question about a 1031 exchange. And here's the pro tip. I did not know the answer to her question. I had been a real estate agent for 20 years and I did not know the answer to her question. So what did I say? Who wants to guess what I said?
I can get the answer for you.
I'll
Yeah.
get back to you.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll
Nobody-
find out and I'll get back to you. That's what I said. The other agent didn't know either. I got the listing because I found out within 24 hours, got her the information, got her more than she asked for, got the original source, sent it to her, set up an appointment. The other agent took 4 days to get back to her because it happened to be a Thursday that this question came up. I got the answer on a Friday. He got the answer the following Monday. I got the listing in spite of the fact that I didn't know the answer. Because I was a resource, because I listened. So there you go. There's my pro tip about working with sellers. You don't have to have the most experience. You don't have to have the fanciest or the flashiest. You just have to be there for the seller. Well, I just ran in the same situation where I don't know the answer to a question. That's why I turned my camera off. So I could text back. Okay, but that's fine. I don't know, but I will find out and I will get back to you tomorrow. And even if it's tomorrow and you don't find the answer, don't ghost them and say, I'm still researching. I want you to know this is where I'm at. This is what I found so far. I know it's not the complete answer, but I am working on it. The worst thing you can do is ignore because you don't know. Okay, we're going to skip this because we're not working with buyers. Okay, how sellers found their agents. So what on this list is surprising to you? First time sellers, 47% got a referral from a friend, neighbor, or relative. 24% used the agent previously for a transaction. 3% personal contact by the agent. 4% 4% referral from another agent. 3% website. 2% open house. Visited an open house, and 1% for sale or open house signage. So what surprises you about this?
In-house signage. The
Signage, yeah. I mean,
This
I
is
thought
the-
more would come from the open houses, and here's what I would say. A good agent, not good by experience, but somebody that's focused and purposeful can convert sellers from open houses. If you're just there to sit there like a model home and let people in the door, maybe have them sign in, maybe call them once to follow up. You're not going to get sellers from an open house. If you're doing a 7th level open house, you can go into Connect and Command and look for the open house playbook, and that walks you through how to do a 7th level open. You're going to get sellers. So if you're not getting sellers from an open house, it's probably because you're not marketing, you're not doing the work before, during, and after. Not to say that you're going to get a seller every single open house, but you're going to increase your chances. I thought more would come from websites or Google. Tiffany, what makes you say that? Well, that would be website, Melissa. Like website.
think I think of our world today as not as personal. People
Mhm,
seem to like to have a buffer between them and the other party. So
mhm,
Googling it, looking someone up online, that seems to be something I find very common in most
mhm,
businesses, like when people are searching for a business,
mhm,
um, at least initially. Obviously, I think the referral is top, which is shown here
mhm.
in your
Yeah.
chart, but it did surprise me that it was so low.
Mhm. So especially in the world of real estate, but generally speaking with service professionals, people do business with people they like. Have we all heard people do business with people they know, like, and trust? Have you all heard that before? Well, in real estate, I would argue that people do business with people they like because they can know you, they can trust you as a business person, and if they don't like you, they're very unlikely to work with you. So people do business with people they like. People are more forgiving with people that they like. Not in the sense that you don't mess up big time, you know what I mean? But if they like you, they're more likely to work with you. Now that Stephen, you said 24% of the people that sold their home used the agent they bought from their first home. Which part of that surprised you? That it was 24% or that it was only 24%? Can you come off mute? I can't find you. Or put it in the chat. Oh, that many people would still, okay. Ding, ding, ding. That's an excellent, excellent observation. My very first listing, this is before the internet, before the Google, before all those things, right? My very first listing came from a floor call. Floor is a thing that a lot of no, no, Halden, I'll answer that question in a second. But my very first listing came from a floor call, and floor was something that I think it's the opposite, Halden, because I was a brand spanking new agent, 26 years old. Okay, you want to talk about insecurity? And I looked like I was 12. My very first listing came from a floor call, and floor was where, like, my office at the time, Watson Realty in Orlando, Florida, shout out. They would advertise. They had like a homes and land book, they had magazines, they did newspaper ads, all the things that you did pre-internet. And people would call in the office because they'd see an ad or they'd see a house for sale or they see something or the other, and they'd call the office. And the agent sitting on the floor would get the lead. And most likely they would transact with that person if they could, if they could convince the person to like them, whatever. I got a floor call from a seller who had bought her house 3 years before from a Watson Realty agent. She said to me, I bought my house from a Watson Realty agent. I can't remember the agent's name. I can remember it was a great experience. And Watson Realty did a great job at marketing themselves as a company. So she knew how to get in touch with Watson Realty. She didn't know how to get in touch with her agent because the agent never followed up with her after she bought the house. So I got the listing. So, Halden, to answer your question, quite the opposite. Only 24% of first-time sellers and 31% of repeat sellers use the agent that they bought the house with. So that means 75% of sellers chose a different agent. The bulk came from a referral from a friend, neighbor, or relative. What are our thoughts around that? What does that mean for you? Like, what is your action item if the seller found their agent from a referral from somebody that they already know? What should you be focusing on?
Maybe contact everybody that is close to our families, friends, and
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, 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 and yes. The more people that you know that you're in real estate and are available to help people that they know with a real estate need, the more referrals you will get. Simple. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. Obviously, Keller Williams has opportunities. I'm not going to dwell on that because I know you have some tech stuff. I love opportunities for the pipeline. I go through my opportunities once a week and I look at my pipeline. Relationship is a currency. Jason Abrams calls your database your data bank for that reason. Yeah, statistically, they do make business with the first or second agent they talk to. I always say if you're going to work like a for sale by owner or expired or something like that, if that's in your, if that's something you desire to do, I talk to my agents about you want to be the first or the last. You want to be the first person to reach out to them or the last man standing. That's who's getting the listing. Statistically. Okay. So command, opportunities, all of that. Okay. All right. So now how do you figure out if they're able, ready, and willing to sell? So focus becomes increasingly possible in direct proportion to how clear you are about what you want, when you want it, and what you must do to get it. That's from the MREA book. It doesn't just apply to agents, it applies to everyone. So when buyers and sellers know what they want, when they want it, and what they need to do to get it, our role as agent is to help them find the property they desire and close the transaction. Yes, and by asking questions, 1,000%. He or she who asks the most questions controls the conversation. And this is a big challenge, and I would challenge you to spend the next week in conversation. Remove the word I. It's really hard from a self-proclaimed talker. And avoid becoming an advice monster. If you follow Phil M. Jones, is the author of Exactly What to Say for real estate agents, all the Exactly What to Say organizations. I'm a student of Phil's. I'm in a couple of masterminds that he facilitates. And I coach with one of his certified guides as well as a MAPS coach. So I have lots of coaching. So don't think just because just because you're brand new, it's the only reason you need a coach. I have a coach. Gary Keller has a coach. All the people have a coach. Michael Jordan probably had like 6 coaches at the height peak of his career for different things. Anyway, so
What was his name?
Phil M.
Something.
Jones. Yeah, Phil M. Jones. I do not have a copy of the book
Thank you.
here. But Phil, here's the role play cards. This is kind of what they look exactly what to say. It looks like this. I would encourage you to get the audio book because the audiobook you hear the tonality as he's speaking it, and I think that's the most important thing. But anyways, it's about asking questions. Can we make a question list to go through one by one? What do you mean? Absolutely make a question list, but I'm not going to do that with you now. We got a lot to get through. Yeah, the audiobook is great. Phil M. Jones, Exactly What to Say. Thank you for putting it in the chat. And then there's another book called How to Persuade and Get Paid. How to Persuade and Get Paid, also by Phil M. Jones. I'm going to put that in the chat. Oops. Good grief. Okay. How to Persuade and Get Paid. And that's another audiobook by Phil, audio only. And that is an audio recording of a 2-day workshop that he hosted for sales professionals. That is the exact formula for how he does what he does. So those are 2 incredible books that I would recommend. Okay. So when we're determining the able, ready, and willingness of a potential client, we emphasize come from curiosity. this is a starting point for the A, B, and C framework, or you might think of this in terms of cultivate phase, the cultivate phase in your opportunities. In session 11, in session 11, convert possible business into profitable business. You covered how to convert leads to appointments. Then in session 12 in nurturing, you covered staying in relationship with contacts who are not ready to transact. So you can use the A, able, ready, and willing to do business in the next 0 to 14 days. So A, buyers or sellers, excuse me. B, buyers or sellers, 15 to 60 days. And C, they're maybe 61 days out. As far as online leads, actually speaking of, we had talked about that before. Online leads are generally speaking 6 to 12 months plus. Warmer leads are most likely going to come from referrals or open houses, or if you choose to work with for sale by owners and expired listings. So when you have somebody who's able, ready, and willing and motivated to do business soon, those are A buyers. B buyers and sellers are either unable, not ready, or not willing right now. They may be motivated, but something needs to happen first. So B buyers are, we're going to move at the end of the year. Well, B 15, we're going to move at the end of the summer. We want to get through summer. We're going to come back, get settled in, and then we're going to move. We are going to move once we get the house fixed up. We're getting some work done on the house. We're renovating the bathrooms, and then we're going to put the house on the market. C buyers have no immediate need to transact. So they're great for a longer term nurture. And whatever they say their time frame is, cut it in half, because that's when they're going to start the process of preparing to buy or sell. So if they say a year, 6 months from now. The last time we spoke, you said you wanted to move at the end of next year. Is that still the case? And you might be surprised that the time frame is moved up. And at minimum, long-term nurtures, I would keep in touch with quarterly, because you never know when those life things are going to change. Okay, who has any thoughts around what we've talked about so far? Well, okay, so what do you think? What if they say they plan to make a purchase next year?
We
When
need to
would you,
make sure to follow up all the time with them, so
how
we are
often?
fresh in the mind.
How often?
I think that we have a statistic, but I don't remember.
I just said it. Like 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes ago. JR?
Would you say every month?
Quarterly.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Chat's coming through. Okay. Yay for the
Cut the
chat.
time in
Okay.
half.
Okay. So what I said was whatever time frame, if it's more than 90 days out, cut it in half. Okay. And then at minimum, so if they say a year from now, 18 months from now, 2 years from now, cut it in half. And if that half is more than 3 months, connect with them at once a quarter. At minimum, you should be connecting with a lead, a prospect, somebody in your pipeline once per quarter, and expect that they're going to be prepared to start prepping to prep at the halfway point from what they said. And the reason the quarterly is we never know when life is going to change. And you want to be top of mind. So when they think of real estate, they think of you. The worst thing that could happen, and I say this from experience, somebody said they wanted to sell their house next year. So, okay, I think, okay, next year, January, February. So I'm calling them in December. It's almost next year. You said you were wanted to sell this year. Oh my God, thanks so much for calling. We actually moved 6 months ago, or 3 months ago, or 2 months ago. Can you imagine? And I say that from personal experience. Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind. It's like, let me paint a scenario. When you go to a clothing store, right? You walk into or the furniture store. Well, let's say the clothing store. Let's say you walk into the clothing store. What do the salespeople say if they're on commission?
Looking for
Yeah, what do they ask you?
what brings you in or something like that.
Yeah. Can I help you find anything?
Yeah, can I help you?
Can I help you find anything? And what do you say?
No, I'm just looking around.
Right. Now, let's say it's 15 minutes later. You found something you're interested in, but you got to try it on. You go back to the dressing rooms. They're locked. That means you got to find a salesperson to open the door.
Yeah.
You turn around, you look for the salesperson that you can't really remember because you weren't paying attention. Which one were they? Somebody walks past you and they have the key.
Hmm.
Who are you going to ask to open the door?
Person with the key.
That's right. The person that's in closest proximity to you when you're ready to make a decision.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, with able, ready, and willing framework in hand, we're almost ready to qualify potential buyers and sellers. So now we're going to talk about the buyer lead sheet and the pre-listing questionnaire. We're really going to focus on the pre-listing questionnaire because we're talking about sellers today. So why would you want to qualify your sellers before you meet with them?
For the seriousness of them selling their home, and they really prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Have they done what they need to do to prepare to sell their home?
Yeah, great. Thank you. That was a great share.
See what they
William,
can afford.
Oh.
See what they can afford.
to see what well, this is sellers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, same idea. Ready, able, and willing. Well, we like to say able, ready, and willing. Able, willing, and ready. That's Gary Keller. I don't know. I don't make it up. JR.
They may not be in a position to sell it. So you might have
Yeah.
10 mortgages on the property.
Right.
Foreclosure,
Right.
modifications, yeah.
Well, listen, foreclosures, we can help with the foreclosure and a short sale. So, that's okay. But yeah. But I mean, knowing what you're getting into, right, is helpful. Assess readiness, make sure they have realistic expectations. Yes, and yes.
Also,
Uh-huh.
also their exit strategy, okay, they
Mhm.
want to sell their home, but what do they plan on doing if the home sells, immediately
Yeah.
or quickly, or just in general?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now here pricing. Well, I mean, yeah, we're not going to talk about pricing in a pre-qualification phone call, right? We're going to do that once we see the house, once we analyze the market and figure out what their needs and expectations are. But we want to have an idea. I usually ask on that pre-qual phone call, what do you think your house is worth? Every once in a while, you're going to get a snarky seller. Well, that's what your job is. Okay. And then I'll say, when was the last time you checked your estimate? And they'll say, oh, we check it all the time. Okay, great. What do you think your house is worth? They know. They just want to be difficult. So don't take that for a no, that they don't have any idea. And just as a reminder, a quick little caveat, you want your process to be the same for all buyers and all sellers. Now, there may be some deviations once you find out certain things, but the general questions that you're going to ask should be consistent for everybody. We want to stay compliant for all the things and be a kind human. So check if they did any renovations. Exactly. All that's going to help. So you have in your resource guide, by the way, for Ignite, you do have buyer and seller sample intake forms. So I would encourage you to go and look at those and get comfortable with them. And when you're speaking with a potential buyer or seller, we don't want to be an order taker. You're not a Chick-fil-A. You don't just ask the question and then go to the next question, go to the next question. Listen to the answer, ask appropriately, get comfortable with the questions. I always tell my agents, generally speaking, we're looking for the who, what, where, when, and how. Right? We want to know just the who, what, where, when, and how. Like, what's the story? You know, why are you, what has you considering, what has you thinking about selling? What has you thinking about making a move? You know, Mr. Seller, moving is really hard. What has you thinking about a move? Oh my gosh, when do you want to get there? What's important about getting there? What happens if you don't get there in the time frame that you'd like? What happens if you don't get there at all? Right? Those are questions that we want to ask ahead of time so we know motivation, so we know all the things. And then, yes, you know, knowing, you know, do they have a mortgage? Do they know what the payoff is? If they don't, they can get their mortgage statement and look at what the estimated payoff is to have a general idea. You know, do they have any liens on the property? That they might not want to answer whether they do, but you know, it's okay. You know, these are things I need to know. Have you done any renovations? Have you done any work on the house? I like to ask, have you made any improvements since you've been there? How old is the roof? How old is the HVAC? How old's the water heater? Right? Those things. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I love this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, meaning 10, you must move as quickly as possible, and 1 means you're really not sure when you need to make a move, how would you rate yourself? They're going to say 7, unless they might say 10, but 7 is the most common answer. Okay, what would make it an 8? What would make it a 9? What would make it a 10? And then get to the motivation. What do you think of those questions?
I love the fact that it puts it back on them and that you're giving them a range. They don't feel like they have to say yes or no. If,
Yeah.
you know, someone's not sure, they're going to be indecisive. So at least the
Mhm.
number system gives them a range. And I like the fact that you said, okay, well, we'll make it an 8, we'll make it a 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because that kind of, again, that just kind of gets to their motivation, you know? So yeah. Yeah. Great. Thanks. Who else has a thought from that section? The pre-qualification section. Finding the motivated.
I just wanted to add that it separates the serious from the curious so that you can prioritize your time of who you're really going to focus on at the same time as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That was good. Yeah. Great share. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, love them. Yes, open-ended question. We talked about open-ended and closed-ended questions today. I like the variety. Yeah, open-ended questions are going to be the best. It's definitely non-confrontational. I like to say, even though I say who, what, where, when, and why, I try to avoid using the word why because it can be confrontational. What has you thinking about a move? And acknowledge moving is really hard because it's not easy. It takes a lot of work, time, effort, money. What has you thinking about a move? And paint future pacing, painting the picture. If it doesn't happen the way you expect, what then? Right? So coming from curiosity. Okay, so now we get the A, B, and C buyers. So whenever you get that C buyer, B sometimes in C buyer, right? We want to talk about touch plans. And in command, you have touch plans. Look at this. Look at what's up here at the very top of each touch plan. What does it say? 4 touches quarterly. Y'all, I'm not making this stuff up. And then the 19 to connect, that's like a quicker, right? 12 touches monthly. This is when you're just trying to connect with them. 2 touches promotional mail, 1 touch annual event. Now, if you're really trying to convert them, 4 quarterly touches, 26 touches biweekly email. So that's twice a month. I would encourage a weekly email newsletter. 2 touches over events, get-togethers, or parties. And 4, something in the mail. Birthday card, holiday card. Okay. The pre-qual, yeah.
I just wanted to I just wanted to say that when I hear the numbers of how many touches, it seems like an enormous, I shouldn't say enormous, but it sounds like a lot.
Okay.
But the way that you're touching them in different ways doesn't come across as intrusive. You know,
Yeah.
like a newsletter or a
Yeah.
text or a phone call or a reason like a holiday or birthday. So the
Yeah.
high, you know, those numbers don't seem like, oh my God, that many times to bother one person, but the
Yeah.
different ways makes it
Yeah. I mean, listen, let's get into it. Okay. We can very easily come up with 36 touches. I was challenged one time at an ALC clinic to do 100 touches in a year. Our whole like group, our region was challenged. Each table had to figure out 100 touches. Okay, 4 quarterly touches, four quarterly phone calls, then alternate a different month, do a text, right? So that's if you do a call and a text, that's 8. A weekly newsletter, that's 12. So now you're at 20. And oh my God, well, what am I going to send in a weekly newsletter? Just Google what's happening in your area. Have ChatGPT help you. Make a template. Copy paste, copy paste. At minimum once a month, but let's try to do a weekly, right? You can do a monthly neighborhood nurture. There's another 12. So we're at 20. Now we're at 36 right there. One birthday card. There's 37. Guess what? There's 4 holidays per year that are not religious. Who can think of 4 holidays per year that are not religious? That would be
Memorial
separated by
Day,
quarter, per quarter.
Independence,
What?
Memorial
Happy
Day and
New Year.
Independence.
New Year and yeah, Independence Day, 4th of July,
Valentine's Day,
or more Valentine's Day. What else?
Mother's Day,
Mother's Day, Father's
Father's
Day.
Day.
Obviously, we want to be, sensitive. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Labor Day, St. Patrick's Day. Shout out Sasa at Irish from Chicago. My parents are from Chicago. Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. Somebody said Halloween. Yeah. Lots and lots and lots of opportunities, right? To reach out to them. And then that's in the mail. And then, you know what? If you have a little bit of funds set aside, do a calendar every year or a sports calendar. People love those. Or do some sort of annual event. Do a movie screener. And you don't have to pay for it. You can rent a space in the movie theater very inexpensively and get your vendors to pay for it. It costs you probably $200 to rent out a movie theater. Get your lender involved, your title rep, painter, inspector, roofer, home organizer. Start putting together your vendor list. Have you all started working on that? Has that been a thing, the memory jogger? National Donut Day post on Facebook. Listen, I love that. But yeah, work on your vendor list. These are professionals that help people during the time that they don't want to buy and sell. Be the resource for that. I do that every 6 months. I update my 5-star vendor list. Every 6 months, I go to my sphere, my mom's group, all the things, and I ask them. I'm updating my 5-star vendor list. Who have you hired in the last 6 months that's given you 5-star service, or who would you recommend if I needed? And I list off a handful: painter, plumber, roofer, landscaper, whatever, right? And by the way, if you want a copy of the list, drop your email and DM me your email and I'll send it to you. Now I have their name and email address if I didn't already have it. There was your pro tip. Okay. La la la. Okay. Okay. So the pre-qual questionnaire. Again, we're not going to be an order taker. We're not going to say, Hi, LaShawn. This is Jolie with Keller Williams. I know we're meeting tomorrow, but I have about 15 questions to ask you. Number one, how did you hear about me? Or 11, was it 11 questions on here? Number one, how did you hear about me? Number two, where are you moving? No, we're not going to ask like that. We're going to have a conversation, right? Hi, LaShawn. This is Jolie from Keller Williams. I know we're meeting in a couple days. Before we do, I had a couple quick important questions that will help me provide you the best service. So let's start. Let's just make sure I have all the best contact information for you. This is what I have for your phone number, your email, and the best way to reach you. Is all that correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. The address of the house that you're selling is this. Is that correct? Or what's the address of the house that you're selling?
Yes.
All right. So in order to create the market analysis or value, of to determine the value of your property, I have a couple more questions. Is that okay? Perfect. Do you see what I'm saying? We're asking the questions in a conversational way to basically get as much information as possible.
You're collecting yeses.
Well, I'm collecting yeses, but I'm also finding out, well, is that okay? Yes, I'm collecting that. But then, okay, well, let's go through, where are you planning to move to? Great. What's motivating you to move there? How soon do you need to be there? If we were to sell your house in the next 30 days, would that be a challenge for you? Or anyone in your house? Maybe they have like a family member that lives in the house that would be a challenge for. What would happen if your home didn't sell? How much do you owe on the property? You see what I'm saying? We're just asking these questions. And then I would encourage everybody to do a pre-listing packet PDF presentation. I know we have access to the pre-listing or the listing presentation in Command. I would also highly suggest not going through that like you are up on stage presenting a slide presentation like I am doing now. What I would suggest is the pre-listing or the listing presentation be sent as a pre-listing presentation. Because my goal at the listing appointment is to learn as much as I can about them and their motivation. And then match my services to them. So all the stuff about me, what makes me amazing, the last thing I want to do is go to a listing appointment and talk to them about how amazing I am. I'm so glad, you're so lucky you met with me. Did you know that in 24 years, I've helped over 500 families buy and sell real estate? Isn't that incredible? I'm in the top 20% of my office. I consistently sell at 102% of list price. The bulk of my business comes from 80 to 90% of my business comes from repeat and referral customers. I sit on the board of 2 nonprofits. I'm a certified market center instructor. Right? Do y'all want to work with that person? I sound like some of the agents in our office. Yeah, right. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Every single thing that I said was 100% true. Now, okay, so let me qualify that. And that's all in my pre-listing presentation, my pre-listing packet that I send ahead of time. No, it doesn't say it like that, all nanny boo-boo. I have marketing strategies. I have my resume. I talk about why I got into real estate, what I do currently, the different roles that I have. I don't care if you've been in the business for a week or 20 years. You have a value that you provide. You are going to be a value and service to your clients. Figure that out. Use ChatGPT to help you figure out what your value proposition is. Right? Does that make sense? On the same day, before, Halden asked, we had to do that on the same day. I suggest before, if you want to drop a physical packet off, a lot of agents do that. There's something called a listing box. I do not use that, but I think it's spectacular if you want to do that. I do not have that bandwidth to do that, but I love it. I do a PDF and I email it to them in advance, along with a copy of the seller's disclosure and the lead-based paint disclosure. Guess what? That's part of the listing packet that they need to fill out. And if you send your pre-listing packet with all the wow stuff about you and say your homework before we meet is to get a copy of your current mortgage statement and fill out the seller's disclosure and lead-based paint disclosure. You're going to need that whenever you do sell, regardless of who you hire. If they have those 3 things filled out, when you get there, you've got the listing. Now it's on you to talk yourself out of the listing. All right. Thoughts, ahas. I just laid a bunch of stuff on you.
I'm sorry, can you
Julie, can,
the 3 again?
yeah, can you repeat the 3?
What 3 things? 3 what?
3 you said that you just said to send them the pre-listing
Oh,
packet
yes.
and
Yes. I don't think of them as
Seller's
numbers.
disclosure.
Stuff. Yeah. The pre-listing packet. So that's like the listing packet with like your marketing stuff, your resume, you know, the things that make you different, your value proposition, all of that, right? Send them that, the seller's disclosure and the lead-based paint disclosure. Yes. Okay, so sorry, my daughter walked in there. Listing packet or listing presentation, right? Which is your listing presentation. Seller's disclosure. Do we know what the seller's disclosure and lead-based paint are? Okay. And lead-based, I'm gonna initialize. I'm gonna put the initials, lead-based paint. So those, they have to figure out whoever they hire whenever they sell their house, they need to have a signed seller's disclosure and lead-based paint. Oh, and sorry, and their mortgage statement, latest mortgage statement. Because that's going to give us the payoff. So if they have all of that ready when you show up, you've got the listing. Because that meant they read your email, they followed instructions, and they had it ready. Lenore, was that just a thumbs up or did you have a question? Oops. No? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. You were doing a thumbs up. I knew it was a reaction. I thought maybe, but I just wanted to double check. Okay. Okay. So what ahas or thoughts?
If they have those things ready, that means that, you know, it, it just more clarifies how serious they are, that they are really motivated because they actually took the time to read, follow directions, they have it ready for you.
Yeah. 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 And you know what's funny? As I'm looking through the chat, you sound like a lot of the agents in my office. What is funny about that is, first of all, yes, I have those agents in my office too. I come across them all the time. And I'm the first one to tell you, I do not know everything. I am shocked every day in this business. There is something that happens every single week where I'm like, I never heard that before. Sometimes small, sometimes big. But I am not here to act like I know all the, somebody asked me once, when did you feel like you knew all the answers? I was like, ask me next week. I'm the first one to be like, I do not know all the things. I wish I did, but I don't even think Gary Keller knows all the things. I said that too. So anyways, all right. Any other thoughts on that? No? Y'all feel prepared for a listing? You have a listing appointment on Monday. Are you prepared? Okay, thanks, Lee. Thank you guys for the transparency. Listen, I'm stressing out for a listing appointment on Monday. So, yeah. Yeah. No, you do fine. You would do fine. You would figure it out. Okay, listen. You have a listing appointment on Monday. This house will give you, when it closes, because it will close, a $25,000 commission. Are you going to go? Are you going to figure it out?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Stephanie, I think once you do it once, it'll get easier. I spent the afternoon helping an agent put together an offer for the first time. And guess what? She has another buyer ready to put in an offer. And I said, the second time, you're going to be able to, just going to be way easier. Because she goes, this was really hard. And I said, but now you've done it once. And here's another thing. Statistically speaking, industry wide, you'll get 3 out of 4 listings you go on. I don't care how much experience you have, statistically. Now, maybe at the beginning, you'll get 1 out of 4. But guess what? If statistically, agents in the United States get 3 out of 4, that means one of those 4 said no. So if you do not get the listing on that first listing appointment, that's okay. Go get some more appointments. I'm certainly not going to sit here and tell you I get 100% of the listing appointments that I go on. Melissa, what makes you feel more comfortable?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't had to do one.
Okay.
I feel like, coming from education, a presentation feels natural, but I also like having the binder where it's manipulative, where your client can actually touch it, flip through at their own pace, etc. So we tuned into Gary Keller and Jason Abrams today, something that they had, and it just hadn't really
Relax.
thought about. I wonder what really would fit me and my personality.
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that.
I know, that's why I was like, I'm just wondering. I don't know what will fit. So
Yeah,
once you do it, maybe I'll have more insight.
Try different things. Figure it out.
Thank you.
When I have gone back and forth, usually I do have my computer with me or my iPad, one of the 2 devices, because I do like to, when needed, pull up the comparable properties. I do always now. Here's going to be my cap. So I'm going to give you my little thing. Okay. Since we're talking about it. Okay. This is what I do. And I don't, mostly it's consistent, right? I'd like to see, okay. Yeah, I could do that. But mostly it's my process, right? And it's not flashy. My process is I send them a pre-listing packet, and I'll share that with you guys in a second. Let me pull that up actually. Welcome to my Canva. Okay, welcome to my Canva. Okay. Okay. Listing presentation. Okay, here's my current one. Okay, let me show you this. This was my one 2 years ago. And now this is my updated one. I like it better. And I didn't make this up. I bought the template from Etsy. I paid like $20. And then I wanted to update it, so I bought a new one. Okay, so I am not like super creative over here with my thing. Okay, the content is similar-ish, but I just wanted to update the design. So anyways, okay, so this is my pre-listing packet. This is what I send them. Listed to sold, all the things. Nice to meet you. A little bit about me. Who you partner with matters. This is my resume. And I don't care if your resume doesn't have any real estate about it. You know something. You did not pass that state exam and not know something. It took me 2 times to pass the state exam. I'm still, but I failed by 2 points. Anyways, about my brokerage. Potential outcomes. Option 1, you have the opportunity to list your home with me. Option 2, you might decide not to list with me. Option 3, I may decide not to take your listing. This was in the Etsy that I bought and I loved it, so I kept it. Anyways, and it just walks through the timeline. This is in the KW one, by the way. It talks through the timeline. We listen, we do not. And this, like I said, most of this came from the Etsy, and it's all, listen, most listing presentations that you will find on the internet, including the KW one, have the same type of content. There may be fancier pictures and all the things, and again, Etsy. You could do there's listing presentations in Canva. Oh my God. Do you guys know that Keller Williams partnered with Canva and we get Canva Enterprise in the next couple of months? You guys, I'm so excited. I can't even wait. You saw my Canva. I mean, I can't wait. So anyways, understanding the current market. This comes directly from Keller Williams. This was on the Etsy presentation that I bought. This was a Keller Williams like price visibility. This was from an old KW course called 3612-3. So stolen and are indeed ripped off and duplicated, but I love it. Obviously, if you buy an Etsy template, read the template and edit as needed. Don't have somebody be like, oh my God, I hear that you are a horseback rider. Okay. Right? Okay. I hear that you stage my home 100%, no cost to me. Edit that out unless you have deep pockets. Okay. Marketing touch, again, read the marketing touch points. Is this stuff you are willing to do? If not, take it out. It talks about buying, because a lot of times when they sell, they have to buy. How do we reach buyers? Marketing, I'm not going to go through each thing. You see it, you get the gist. I mean, I'm not going through this, but do you see it's long? I'm not going through this when I sit there with them. It's a lot of stuff, right? And then my little ending, whatever. I have different thank you pages, depending on which one I prefer at the moment. See, the template. This was the template. So anyways, okay. So there is my listing presentation. Okay, so I send that to them in advance. And then when I send that to them in advance, and then I ask for the other 3 items, the mortgage payoff, I send them to disclosures, the 2 disclosures, right? Then when I go into the appointment, I have printed out, I don't care how technologically savvy you feel like you are. Am I freezing? Can you guys hear me? Okay, my little screen is going wonky. Probably because I opened Canva. My computer's freaking out. I was doing too many things. When I go on the appointment, okay, what was I going to say? Technology does not always work for us. Okay, so you can't count. Oh, okay, hold on. Am I back?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, okay. You guys, I'm over here. I don't know what you're saying. Okay, can you hear me like for real, for real? Am I
Yes.
still
Yes.
freezing?
Yes,
Okay,
you're
all right.
good.
Good. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I think I might have had too many browsers going. Okay. Again, okay. This just proves my point. Like this proves my point. When you go to a listing appointment, technology may not always be there to support you 100%. So I always print out the listing, all the listing paperwork with a pen. I am trying not to leave that house without the listing signed. Am I freezing again? Okay. Let me try to get all this stuff closed. Anyways, I'm trying not to leave the listing without the listing signed. I bring the paper, so I don't want any hiccups, right? Okay, here we go. I think I closed too many screens. Okay, but at least I'm back. I'm totally back, you guys? Okay. So, okay, anyways, I am not trying to, so I want to get the listing signed while I'm there. So I print out all the paperwork. I also print out my comparable properties, right? Because I want to have the comps ready to go and for them to see them. And I print them out. I print them out the 3-up, it's called usually. It's kind of like there's a picture. Every MLS has the same thing. It's a picture and then the little description and then a picture and a little description. So you have like 3 or 4 per page. That's the one that I'm trying to do, right? Slide 36. Let me get back to where I was. Okay. Anyway, so I show up with all that stuff. Then oops, slideshow. Okay, I show up with all that stuff and then I just talk to them. I ask a lot of questions. Sorry, we had like a 5-minute technology interlude. Apologies for that. Does anything that I said make sense? I know we got all like wonky there. So I just have a conversation, you know? That's really my goal, is to just have the conversation, not overthink it, connect with them. People do business with people they like. That's the answer. People do business with people they like and don't count on technology. So yeah, I bring my computer, I'll bring my iPad, but I might not get good cell service. They might not have great Wi-Fi. The house may be vacant and there's no Wi-Fi. Right? So always bring everything in paper form. I know we're trying to be paperless, but bring paper. And a pen that works. Double check your pen. If there's more than one seller, bring a pen for everybody. And then get to know them. Ask the who, what, where, when, and why. Okay? Makes sense?
Yes.
What? Am I on 13? Yeah. Okay. Let me double check what's happening here. Okay. What are your thoughts, takeaways, ahas from all of that? Or is everybody just like frozen?
Pre-listing presentation.
What do you mean my listing presentation?
Pre-listing presentation
Oh,
plays
yeah.
a major role.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. What else?
The last point.
One, pick all and be ready for anything. Yes. And yes. Excellent takeaway. What else?
See someone put in the chat that it is a lot of information, but I think that if you're going in to win the deal, the listing, then you want to go in with everything that you're supposed to have. You don't want to have to say, oh no, I'll have to come back and do this or anything like
Yes.
that. You want to have everything right
Yes.
there with you.
Yes, I do not. There are agents that will teach to or will train to a 2-step listing presentation. I do not. As soon as you walk out that door, your chances of getting that listing get cut in half. I'm getting that thing signed when I'm sitting there. If they say, we want to think about it, well, that tells me that I haven't answered all your questions. What questions do you have for me that I haven't answered? Well, you know, we want to do some work on the house, so it'll take us a couple weeks. Why don't you come back then and we'll be ready to go? Well, tell you what, I have a tremendous list of vendors that I can provide you with, and I can help guide and consult during this process. So why don't we go ahead and sign the paperwork? We'll leave the dates blank. We'll even leave the price blank because we'll discuss that when we're ready to go to market. Why don't you hire me now to get started so I can help support you in this process? Be prepared to win. Love that. Okay. All right. We're going to do a quick. Who's excited for lead generation?
Everyone.
Okay. Don't everyone just kind of staring at me. I see your faces in there. Okay. All right. So get out your phones. Do y'all know who you're going to send a text message to? Do you have at least 5 people? I had ChatGPT come up with some scenarios for us, you guys. Here's the text. I'll read them off, and then you're going to pick one and send it to at least 5 people. Okay. Hey, name, username. Okay. Hey, Susan, a few homes in your area have sold quickly this summer. Curious what your home might be worth in today's market? Hi, Susan. I've got a quick market snapshot for Pembroke. I don't know. Would you like me to send it over? Hey, William. I'm helping a buyer look in your neighborhood and inventory is super tight. I've thought about making a move. Now, these are if you know where they live and all those things. Now we can get a little more broad. Hey, JR, just wanted to check in. If you hear of anyone thinking about selling soon, I'd love to help. Even happy to just give them an idea of their value. Oops. Okay. Oh my God. What did I do? Where'd I go? Oh no. Okay. My mouse got away from me. Hey, Amanda, just wanted to let you know that I'm in real estate now. My goal is to be a helpful resource, not just an agent. Even if you're not moving, I'd love to stay in touch. I skipped ahead. Pick a text, send it to 5 people. 2 minutes. Go. All right. Are we still texting? I'll give you 2 more minutes. All right. Back to me. I know we all love texting because it doesn't mean we don't have to talk to other human beings, but let's share some wins. Who has a win? Who got a response that might be positive or just, oh my God, that's incredible. Share a positive win. Did anybody get a response from anybody? JR.
Yeah, I received the response. They said, hey, that sounds interesting. Can we talk tomorrow?
Okay. What was the text you sent?
I had to create my own a little bit because
Okay.
I couldn't do it as fast as, hold on one second, let me pull it up. Um, Okay. Just sold a property in your neighborhood. Would you like a market analysis? Let me know
Oh,
if you're interested.
love that. Did you just sell a house in their neighborhood?
Nope,
Okay.
but somebody on MLS did.
Okay. Listen, I love it. I love it. Because somebody did listen, I don't hate that at all. I would say maybe somebody in your office, but somebody in ML or a whole home just sold in your neighborhood. Yeah, instead of just sold a home because you didn't do it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I love it though. I love it. Way to be creative and good to get a phone call. I love it. Okay. Anybody else? Fake it till you make it. I love it. I have an agent friend in Florida who she became a luxury real estate agent. And the way she did it was she would be showing condos that had some sort of a water view. And she would stand in the corner of the building that had the water view, take a picture of the water and say, showing waterfront property today. Check out these views. Meanwhile, the condo unit looked at the parking lot across the street from the water. So anyways, I love it. I love it. Okay, anybody else? No? Okay. All right.
One.
Oh, what's that,
No,
Susan?
this is one, the one I'm talking about is one that we from yesterday when we sent text messages. But I reached out to this couple that uh will be celebrating an anniversary this month. And so I just sent a text message asking, so what are y'all going to do to celebrate your anniversary? Not necessarily trying, this is someone who is interested in buying a home, but just reaching out to them.
I love it. I love it. It doesn't have to be about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, want to grab coffee? Have you gone on vacation this year? Where have you gone?
Mm-hmm.
How was your 4th of July? Any plans the rest of the summer? Right? Okay. While leads are vital to your sales business, seller listings are critical to your ability to build to its highest level with the lowest costs and highest net. Where am I? Am I back on the, what presentation am I on? I think I'm in the wrong presentation. I was on the wrong presentation. That's why I was so confused. I'm like, I just did this. You guys, technology, technology, technology. Oops. Oh my God. Okay. Presenter view. Wait. Let me get my little thing over here so you don't see what's behind the curtain. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Let me get this. Okay. Okay. Where's my, oh no. Oh no. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. My thing just freaked out. Huh? What? Say something? Okay. So We know all of our clients are amazing, and we're grateful for them choosing us. But sellers are special because they bring us listings. Have you guys heard this yet so far? Leads, listings, and leverage? Say yes. You should have at this point. Listings don't just bring us the closing, the commission, but now we have the opportunity to build a relationship and get referrals. Remember from the how sellers found their agent and how buyers found their agent? Referrals. So build your referral network. Okay, in your participant guide, which you should have by now. If you don't, I can share a link. But in your participant guide, there's this list from the MREA. Seller listings mean marketing opportunities. You have more control over your time. We talked about that at the beginning. Listings maximize your per hour compensation. You can do more volume in listings than buyers because time. Being on the front end of pricing creates an intimate knowledge of the market. Properly marketing listings brings you more business. By leveraging listings, I always put my listings in Facebook Marketplace. It's free and you get a bunch of responses. You might get some people thinking, oh my God, it's overpriced, but you might just pick up a buyer or a seller or more than one. Do just listed, just sold postcards. I know it seems old school, but they work. Open houses, circle prospecting. You can do all those things with a listing. Now, with listing a buyer, getting an exclusive buyer agency, you can also leverage that by circle prospecting, golden letters, put a post on Facebook. I have a buyer looking for X, Y, and Z. Call all the for sale by owners and expires in a TCPA compliant way that match that criteria. Lots of ways to leverage. Okay, so this is a 7-step seller service cycle. Say that 5 times fast. There's a lot of models, right? Gary Keller loves him a model. But this is a model that really has a proven track record. So, lead conversion, which is lead generation plus follow-up. Did you know lead follow-up is also part of lead generation? So I am not a cold caller. Would it surprise you to know that I like to meet people face to face? I am not a cold caller, but I still do make phone calls every day in the form of lead follow-up. I follow up with old leads. I follow up with past clients. I do my DTD2. Who's heard of the DTD2? Put it in the chat. DTD2. Do the database too. You can Google it. I love it. I love the DTD2 because it creates that lead gen with an unbiased process. So it doesn't matter if they're an A and W, I'm calling them. Trust me, I know when it's the first quarter of the month or first quarter of the year or second quarter, the first week of each quarter, because I get a bunch of phone calls because my last name starts with an A. Oh, Kima? Kima.
Yes, I had a question. Is
Yes.
there any way you can email the slides? I came a little bit late to the meeting. I'm just trying to catch up.
No, and I'll tell you where to find them.
Okay.
Go to KW Connect. Every single Keller Williams University course is in KW Connect, and you can find both the participant and instructor materials. So go to KW Connect in Command, search Ignite in Learning, and it's going to be the first link.
Okay, thank you.
You're going to get all the instructor slides, the instructor manual, all the things. Now, you guys don't cheat and not show up the rest of Ignite because you're also getting context.
Thank you.
And I believe, I don't know, are the recordings being shared out? I feel like we're recording, so I don't know if the recordings are being shared out. Okay. Anyways, pre-listing, we talked about that. Listing consultation, servicing and marketing, offers and negotiations, contract to close, post-close system. So we prepared how to show our leads the value, lead generated, lead follow-up, qualified them, and you know how your follow-up should be structured. So now we're going to talk about the listing consultation, which I already kind of did. So we're going to skip the ahas because I already kind of did. So we're just going to get into it. Okay. Just like having buyers, the keys to converting a seller leads are responding right away. Does any of this start to sound familiar? Get valid and complete contact information. Save it all into command. Determine their motivation to sell so you can speak to it. Set an appointment, time and date as soon as possible, and get them a pre-listing packet. I promise you guys, the stuff I'm saying, I'm not making up. I said it before we even got to this section. I mean, I did do my homework. I did know what was in here, but I was speaking truth, right, with what I do. And I've learned it from all of these places that I'm in, all these rooms that I'm in, learning from people. I never want to be the smartest person in the room. I'm always learning from somebody. Attend KW events if you can, family reunion, mega camp, regional events, trainings. Y'all are in Ignite, so that's incredible. I love it. Excuse me. Be a great communicator. Find your flow. Speak to them as if you already know them. I love that. Oh, I'm terrible at calling. I'm working on it. Email and text a lot. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's 2025. To be fair, I prefer a text message. And I will get on the phone and talk to somebody. But a text message is totally valid. If you take bold now, onward bold, text messaging is part of the curriculum. Even in this, the lead generation is text messaging. Even when we do Ignite during the day, text messaging is part of the curriculum. It's okay. People respond faster to text than anything else. Don't count on an email because I have emails from like 2023 that I still haven't read. So I don't know. Okay. Okay. Getting an appointment is about letting sellers know that you are going to be the agent that fulfills their needs in this transaction. So what do sellers want? What is the number one thing that you're seeing on here? Well, other. But what's the 21%? What's the orange? Can you see the little dots? Oops, I went too far. I clicked. Help price home competitively. Number 2, help seller market their home to potential buyers. Number 3, help sell the home within a specific time frame. Help seller find ways to fix up the home to sell it for more. So they don't just need your help with the paperwork, right? And negotiations and the paperwork and negotiations. And that doesn't mean that they don't need your help, right? 27% of their sellers used their realtor previously. So they already have that relationship with they already have a good relationship with that agent. The value that you bring to the transaction is really what's going to give you that repeat and referral business. What are some ways you can build confidence and trust with your sellers? Price home competitively. What else?
Active listening.
Active listening, communication. Communication is the number one complaint of buyers and sellers, according to the National Association of Realtors survey of home buyers and sellers since the history of the time they've been doing that survey. Assure them that you will be there every step of the way. Yes. Yes, we're partners in this process. Provide 5-star service. Yes. Love that. Love that. All of that. Okay. Well, the good news is, that's from exactly what to say. The good news is the same close to appointment skills that you already learned to use with your buyers also work with sellers. So don't leave the conversation without asking for the appointment multiple times. Don't leave the appointment without getting the listing signed or asking for the listing signed multiple times. Now, I'm telling you, don't leave without the listing signed, and you're not always going to leave with the listing signed and you're still going to get the listing. Okay? So let's just not become bullies. But also try really hard to get the listing signed while you're there. Be confident and be yourself. I love, love, love that, Stephanie. 100%. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Don't go in there trying to be me. I'm not trying to go in there and be Jeff Glover. Have we all heard of Jeff Glover? In the world of Keller Williams?
I've
No?
heard the name. I just don't know who he is.
Oh, okay. He's Jeff Glover runs the #1 real estate team in the state of Michigan. He's in Gary's Top 100. He owns his own coaching company. And fun fact, he lives 15 minutes away from me. I'm not trying to be Jeff Glover. I have competed with Jeff Glover. Yeah, Glover, you. I have competed. He's super nice. I'm really good friends with his fiance. So no, I really like him a lot, right? And he does great things, but I'm not trying to be Jeff. I've gone up against listings with him, against him, or whatever, however you want to put it. I have gotten listings and I have not gotten listings when Jeff has been on the other side. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you. Who is Glover? No, no, he's a really great agent. He's a top producer, right? And he runs a huge team. And I've competed with him against listings, but I'm not trying to be Jeff. I'm trying to be me. They're either going to hire me for me or they're not going to hire me for me. And either way is okay. Okay. So we want to show the benefits, use the take back close, the negative positive close. These are different closes you can use. Give them what they're looking for. Trial close, assumptive close, and tie down. My favorite is the assumptive. So why is this not doing the thing? The assumptive close is, it's my favorite. I also got this from Exactly What to Say, Phil M. Jones. What happens next is, we go through the paperwork, get everything signed, and then I get started selling your house. And then stop talking. That's my favorite. Have y'all heard of these closes before? You should have in the buyer section, right? Or no? Yeah, yeah. You could go to ChatGPT also or Google. Learn these different closes. Yeah, it does. It does. What happens next is da 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 da, and then just sit there. It's my favorite. Anyways, because it's really hard for them to say no. If you've already provided the value and you've answered all their questions, it's hard for them to say no. So, anyways, when a question is asked, answer it. When an objection comes up, address it. Don't ignore it. Right? If a client says, "Why are you suggesting such a low price range?" Give them an answer. If they ask, okay, here's a role play, right? Okay, Jolie, I've heard what you said. I appreciate all the things that you said you're going to do, but can't we just list it? I know you're saying you want to list my house at 350. Can't we just list it at 400 and see what happens? I hear what you're saying, Mrs. Seller, Mr. Seller, but I wouldn't suggest that. The market's going to dictate a higher price if we price it competitive. The market's going to dictate what your house is worth, right? So right now, the market's telling us that your house is not worth that higher price. And if we price it competitively, there is a chance we could reach multiple buyers and get multiple offers. The risk we take by overpricing is a longer days on market. And did you know, I got this from Jeff Glover, days on market is the enemy of price. Can I explain? When you were looking for the house, when you bought this house, what was one of the questions you asked your agent? Besides, where's it located, whatever. When you found the house, what was something you asked your agent? Most of the time, they're going to say, how long has it been on the market? Oh, great. Why'd you ask that? And then the light bulb starts clicking. Why do you think buyers ask how long has the house been on the market? This is for the group. Yeah, I can get it. I
And
can
thinking
maybe.
the longer it's been on the market, that there might be something wrong or something's
Right.
going on.
Right. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you have two choices. Or three choices. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you have three choices. We can price it at the price you're suggesting and possibly come down quickly if the market's not speaking to us. We can price it and hold out for the buyer to come along and make an offer that's agreeable to you. Or we can price it where the market conditions are showing your house is valued right now. And with some aggressive marketing, we might be able to get multiple offers and get you a little bit more. Which makes the most sense to you? All right, thoughts, ahas, takeaways.
I would think the
that,
percentage would be higher. Go ahead.
What do you mean?
oh, sorry. I think that giving them options makes it easier for them to be on your side because we are the professional.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, oh, I'm telling you what to do. I'm showing you what's better.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love that. Now, who else had something? I didn't see who it was.
I think it was LaShawn was saying
Oh,
something.
LaShawn?
I was just gonna say that, out of, she did, the person before me said choices, and the fact that you're listening to them, you're not telling them what to do. But the other thing is, it sounds more appealing to have multiple offers and thinking that they might get more than what they asked for, as
Yeah, and
opposed to the other two.
yeah, exactly. And be really
And
careful.
that you said it last sticks in their head possibly the longest.
Ding, ding, ding. That's exactly from Phil M. Jones, exactly what to say. That's his strategy. The third choice is the one you want them to pick. So it works. It works. I didn't make it up. Yeah. Okay. So remember the E to P personal perspective? Do you guys remember that? Move from entrepreneurial to purposeful? So a lot of what you're talking about, you're learning in Ignite is learning the models and systems to create a business that's as large as and profitable as you desire, right? So everything from the pre-listing package to the consultation checklist and the listing presentation has been created for you on the success of all these other agents. So that's in Command Designs or Etsy. I don't know. You do you. Okay, the goal of the pre-listing packet, we've already kind of talked about this, right? It pre-sells you, it saves time, states your value. So review the listing presentation. Does it eliminate the need for a listing consultation? I don't think so. Is it a primer education you'll provide at the listing presentation? I suggest before the listing presentation. But you got to do what works for you. Okay, so I went through my pre-listing packet, so I'm skipping this. I knew this was coming up. I just was in the wrong section. And y'all were anxious to see my listing presentation. But again, Etsy. Okay, we already said ahas about that, so we're skipping. Okay, get a signed listing agreement. You've already heard me talk about this, right? You create a great impression to build the seller's confidence in you as their real estate agent. Share your price recommendations, the initial list price for the property, and your reasoning behind it. Explain how you believe the price is designed to get their home sold in the shortest amount of time and for the most money possible with the least amount of stress. I'll add that in. Remember, the seller is the one who determines the actual list price with your recommendation. So you're not telling them what they should list it for. You're giving them your best recommendation, and then they ultimately make the decision. And you get to decide whether you take that listing or not. They want to list it 800,000 over the list price. That's on you if you take it, right? So set expectations for how you will market the home and work with the seller and follow through on that plan. And you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There's templates in Command, there's templates on Etsy. Speak with your office leadership. Connect with another agent that is really solid with their listings. So we talked about this. In your participant guide, there is a chart that you can look at that we talked about before, what the sellers want. And so that kind of will give you an idea on how to tailor your listing presentation. So this is kind of like, this is what the listing presentation looks like in Designs. It's nice. It gives great information. I will say the listing presentation in Command is great. And it's also designed that if you want to customize it for each property, like you put the address, you put the CMA all in that. I don't like to do that. First of all, because I don't have time for all that. That's crazy to do for each one customize. I have one pre-listing presentation. Y'all saw it. And I use that for everything. My CMA is basically a bunch of printouts. Have you all heard of RPR? NAR RPR? Have you heard of that? You get it for free.
I use it a lot.
I use RPR for my CMAs. I'll do like the quick value. I do a CMA in there, true CMA. I always look for comps in the MLS first and then plug those into. I don't count on RPR as a be all end all for the value. I always do my own personal research in the MLS and then plug those comps into RPR. You know, I'll use only the comps that I want to use but I always use that as a starting point. And pro tip, go to Zillow, look at the Zestimate. Go to Redfin, look at the estimate. If you have Remine available through your MLS, go to that, look at the value, because it's going to give you a good cross-reference of what the internet is saying their house is worth. Because if you don't do it, the seller's going to do it, and then they're going to think you don't know what you're talking about. So always, and own the fact that they looked at Zillow. When was the last time you checked your estimate? Oh, well, they checked their estimate right before you got there. So anyways, okay. Here's an affirmation that I like. I am knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to represent them as they sell their home. Here's the edit I would make. When I'm working with sellers, I call it a house. When I'm working with buyers, I call it a home. Why do you think I do that?
Because if you're selling your house, it's not a home anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But you're buying a home. You're selling a house, you're buying a home. So the listing presentation is where you show off your hard work and research and get the listing. You want to preview the home and then ask for them to sign the listing agreement. Oh, pro tip, here's my little note in here. And as a productivity coach who has to track this stuff for my agents, don't forget to update your opportunity in Command, please and thank you. Upload the docs. Submit the docs for compliance sooner rather than later. And here's what I'm going to say about that. Submit your docs for compliance sooner rather than later, because if you're missing something, it's easier to know when you're in the middle of the transaction than after you closed. Not to say that they don't want to talk to you after they close, but they get really busy with their house and they no longer have any sort of, there's no reason that they need to talk to you. It doesn't matter to them if they didn't sign that disclosure. It matters to you getting paid. They don't care. I mean, they care, but they don't care, right? So update your opportunities, submit the documents for compliance, figure out if you're missing anything ahead of time. That's my pro tip. Okay, so you're walking through the house, right? So this is the walkthrough. So I show up at the house. I've got my little iPad. I got my little folder. I have a notepad. I do that. I started doing this a few months ago. Ask for permission, and I use Otter on my phone. It looks like this. It's this little blue doodad thing, little blue icon. Oh, it's not showing it. Otter AI. And I ask for permission if it's okay if I record our tour because it's going to help me be better prepared when I market their house. Did you hear what I did there?
You included them in the process.
Mm-hmm. At the front door. Mm-hmm. Most of the time they say it's absolutely fine. I also have a notepad. I'm still going to write notes, but my handwriting, and I'll say this, I will tell you right now, my handwriting is worse than a doctor. I cannot read my own handwriting. And so it's better for me to record this so that way I can go back and listen and correct my handwriting. And then I'll write and they can see my handwriting and it's a tragedy. So anyway, so that's my little hack. And then if you do Otter AI, it'll give you a summary and plug that summary into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will write an accurate listing description and create a marketing plan for that property based on all the things that you talked about. I also do carry my phone in my pocket in case there's something special that I want to take a picture of. Well, I need my phone for Otter now. I only just started doing that, but it's been a game changer. So, and if I'm not quite sure on the pricing, and again, I'm still going to try to get that listing signed, and then we're going to talk about pricing before we go to market, because the pricing doesn't matter for them to hire you. They're not hiring you because of the price. They're hiring you because you connected with them on a human level. Right? So if I don't know the price, I'm still going to try to get the listing signed and then go back with the price. So I did that once, and I had my little Otter, and I had ChatGPT do a CMA for me based on the renovations that they needed. And we did a CMA based on pre-renovation and post-renovation. I have to say, I looked at the comps in MLS. It was pretty good. Don't 100% count on ChatGPT to do a CMA, but all I'm saying is, there you go. I have a quick question about my listing. My seller wants me to relist with reducing the price. Is it helpful to delist and relist to catch the eyes of the market? Check with your MLS what the rules are, what the most of the time, if it's within a short period of time, and short period of time could be 3 months, it won't show as a new listing. So double check with your MLS, double check with your office what the time frame is on that, but it may not really matter. So I don't know. Lots of agents used to do that as a hack to get the listing to show up as new, and the MLS has got savvy to that and cut that out. So it'll just, the days on market will still be the same, most likely. I use otter.ai, OTTER, but like there's Fathom, there's read.ai, there's a ton. Just Google, AI recording thing. I don't know, but I use Otter, OTTR or OTTER. I don't know. Okay, so I walk through the house. I talk to them about what's going on. I asked them about, listen, what do you love about this room? Thank you, Shamik. What do you love about this room? What do you love about living here? What do you love about the neighborhood? If they point out something in the room, I make a note of it. I might even take a picture. If they point out something in the room, I'm going to say, that's amazing. Even if it's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. That's amazing. I could see why you like that, because you have hideous taste. Don't say that part. And this is something that I'm a work in progress on. My face does not always use its inside voice. Try really hard. So tour the house, right? Always put your stuff down to the kitchen table, by the way. Kitchen table. And then we're going to go a little bit over because we had that whole freeze situation. So I apologize in advance as I recovered from my internet debacle. Then sit down after the tour. Sit down. Talk about what you saw. Go through the comps. Say, this is what the comps are seeing. Do you have what questions do you have for me? And then stop talking. Well, what do you think my house is worth? These are the most recent sales, and in the current market, I don't care where you live, in the current market, I'd focus more on actives and pendings than solds. In any market, I'd really consider focusing on actives and pendings instead of solds. In a fast-moving market, solds are outdated. In any market, solds are outdated. Active is your current, this is where these houses are probably going to be pending or maybe still active when you go to market. The pendings will likely be closed. So we want to focus on the actives and pendings. Where do you see your house falling in this grouping of houses? And stop talking. And then strategize on a price if that's what they're stuck on. Great. Okay, great. We've determined a price. Or maybe I have to do some research. What other questions do you have for me? Answer the questions. What other questions do you have for me? Answer the questions. What other questions do you have? What have I not shared that you're still wondering about? What questions have I not asked you that maybe I should? If there's no more questions, fantastic. What happens next is we'll go through the paperwork, get all that sorted out, and then I'll get started marketing your house. Does that sound doable? Excuse me. And then after you leave, whether you got the listing signed or not, send them a handwritten thank you note. Even if your handwriting is tragic. Write the envelope with your pen. Have it ready to go. Stamped and everything. Leave, find a mailbox, stick it in the mailbox. They'll get it the next day if it's before like 3. All right. What are our thoughts? Thoughts on that? Ahas from this whole thing. Listen, Sharon, Sarah, I agree. Not that he's great force. I agree my hands are in the worst. LaShawn.
I was just gonna say, the thing that sticks out the most to me is you're not leaving without it getting signed or with a solid no. And the reason why I say it that way is because you want to make sure that you're leaving nothing left unturned, that they can't say, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I just sometimes wonder if people are going to compare, let's see what's out there, to a relative that they know they're going to go with. They just want to see if they can get a better commission payout.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, and even a maybe, we have to think about it. You know what that tells me, Mrs. Seller, Mr. Seller? I haven't answered all your questions. So what questions have I not answered? What needs to happen for you to hire me to sell your house so you can get to Florida by the end of the year to be closer to your grandkids? Right? All right, who else has an aha? What's one thing you're going to implement from today's Ignite session?
I think mine is the assumptive close. I like that.
Okay, I love that. Use it in an example.
So what happens next is, and you're basically telling them what you're going to do next. Gonna go through the paperwork and get everything signed. And then I'll start working on selling your home.
Perfect. I love that.
Mhm.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. Chat's blown up here. Okay. I was impressed by your advice on how many times I can connect with a prospect client within a year, more than 30 times. Yep. I like having the handwritten note ready to go with the stamp. Yes. Because listen, you want to make it even less, the less friction between the next step makes it easier to accomplish, even for yourself. You want to try what? Hey, Jen? Hi, Jen? What do you want to try? How the conversation flows and presentation flows. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Listing presentation. Okay. Putting my packets of documents and be ready. Yes, be ready anytime. Another little story, connect with prospect throughout the year. Yes. And your database. Another fun story. This was like 2004 or 3 or something. I don't know. I was pretty early in real estate. And I was working with a buyer. Now, this was a unicorn once in a This has never happened to me since, but I was working with a buyer. I always, 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 always carry the printed out paperwork in my car for a buyer and a seller. I have multiple copies of the packet, the listing packet, the buyer packet in my car in a little file folder. I also have my listing presentation, the little thing. That presentation, by the way, I send it to Office Depot and have them print it like in a magazine or presentation style, and it's got a staple in the middle and it looks really fancy. I did that after I almost didn't get that listing because of the fancy presentation. Because my presentation was printed on office paper at the office with the staple in the corner. And I had been selling houses for 20 years and that was my presentation and I was still doing good. So don't let your not fancy presentation stop you, because I had been a 20-year real estate agent at that point and had a staple. But then after that, I was like, I can make it fancy. So I took the same presentation, I sent it to Office Depot in a presentation form and had them print it. It cost me about $7 per. So I print them in like groups of like 10 or 20, depending on the time of year. Keep them in my car. Have it all ready to go. Have my little folder. I got my KW black folders on Amazon, by the way. These folders on Amazon. So I didn't pay $1 million for them. They're still not cheap, but they're cheaper than buying it through Keller Inc. or something. So I'll say that. Anyways, what was I gonna say? So, yeah, I was driving through a neighborhood showing a house to a buyer. They saw another house and they're like, "Oh my God, that's the house." I was like, "Really?" They said, "Yeah, that house used to be on the market, then they took it off the market." I was like, "Really?" They said, "Yeah, that's the house we want to buy." I parked, got out of the car, knocked on the door, said, "Hey, I have these buyers in my car that I'm working with, and they said that they saw your house like last year when it was on the market. Would you still consider selling?" Yeah, we actually would. I wrote the contract in my car right there. Now, again, unicorn situation, don't count on that, and be prepared.
Wow.
So there you go. All right, you guys. I am working on getting certified as a Keller Williams University faculty member. It's really hard, and I need your help. So would you mind? Oh, this is the wrong slide. Well, the place goes the same way. I don't know what happened with my slide. Could you do me a favor and fill out here, 62. Could you do me a favor and fill out this? It's the same place, but when you go to the form, you have to select, as people are dropping out of the room like right and left. Ah! You guys didn't leave me some feedback. Okay, you have to select the type of event is virtual. The course is Ignite. You can choose 13 or 15. We did both. Doesn't matter to me. My name will not come up in the instructor list because I'm not a Keller Williams University certified instructor yet. So you got to type out my name manually. Jolie like Angelina. Abreu, Abreu. And please leave a 5-star review. Please and thank you. No, I appreciate any reviews. Anyways, so yeah, KWU eval. I'll put it in the chat. KWUeval.com. No, eval.com. KWUeval.com. Okay. And for those that have stuck with me to the end, I'm going to give you some bonus stuff. So nanny boo boo to everybody who fled the room. I run a twice a week role play using phrases from Exactly What to Say. I mentioned at the beginning that I do mentor with one of the certified guides from, I coach with one of the certified guides from Exactly What to Say, Chris Ruskowitz. So I practice and work on this. I would love for you to attend our conversation practice. We have agents in there that started yesterday. So don't feel intimidated. It is a safe space and everybody is really helpful. If you fill out my Google form, I will get, oh no, not this one. Sorry. Ignore it. Ignore. That's the wrong form. This is when I did my little survey because we were changing the days. Okay. This is the correct link. This is the correct link. Ignore the other one. Okay. Let me delete it so I don't forget. Okay, I would appreciate, if you all want to learn more about Exactly What to Say and the words that I say and how I say them and all of that and get better. I didn't learn how to say this stuff off the top of my head overnight. I practice for years. Years and years and years. And I've only been working on exactly what to say, these specific phrases for the last year. So this is not hard. Another pro tip that I'm going to give you is if you're on Facebook, who's on Facebook? Pretty much everybody is probably on Facebook, right? Pivot Shift Ahead on Facebook. Okay, Pivot Shift Ahead. I can't pull it up because I'm on the wrong browser. Pivot Shift Ahead on Facebook. Okay. Pivot Shift Ahead on Facebook is hosted by James Shaw, who is the former Vice President of Learning for Keller Williams International. He runs a daily call. Chanel, are you on the Zoom?
Sorry, it's too early. I'm getting my girls ready. Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, I put my Bluetooth in my ear, go about my day, listen to the call. That's my hack if I can't be on participating. AirPod in the listen to the call. And the 8 to 8:20 is recorded in the Facebook group and on YouTube. So go back and watch the recordings. Chantal. I'm really bad with saying names. I'm sorry.
Oh, I had nothing to say. You had a great lesson. Thanks for all your gems you
Oh,
dropped
okay.
today.
You had your hand raised, so I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. But yeah, pivot. Okay, good. Pivot Shift Ahead. Get in that group if you're not in the group. Join the free daily calls are from 7:30 to 8. Give me some feedback if you could. And I think that's pretty good considering we had all those internet hiccups. This is what I'm saying. You never know what's going to happen, you guys. Life is a mystery. And real estate's always an adventure. So, all right.
Couldn't find your name.
You got to type it. I'm not a certified instructor yet. But by you leaving a 5-star review, you help me get there. We want my name on the list. The next time you see me teach Ignite, I want my name on the list. But yeah, okay. All right, y'all. Does anybody else have any questions for me before we head out? Oh my God, you guys, let me put okay, you can Google me. Like there's not that many of me that's a realtor. I don't know if there's any, but if you have any questions for me, here's my email, super easy, jolie@kw.com.
Could you repeat the Facebook site that you're talking about?
Yeah, Pivot Shift Ahead. Oh, here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Pivot Shift Ahead. I'll put it in the chat. It opened. Pivot Shift Ahead. Yeah. So jolie@kw.com. Pivot Shift Ahead is that Facebook group. Fill out my Google form and get in on my role play. It's every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern and Wednesday at 12 noon. And yeah. All right, you guys.
And just want to,
yes,
real quick to make a comment about that pivot shift ahead course. I mean, I've been listening to that and it is excellent. It is early because they have a pre-show at 6:30, which is really good. And then The other part is at 7, so it's really 6:30 to 7:30. But it is excellent, and you hear so many ideas from realtors from all over, from everywhere. I mean, it is so much, and I always have I'm taking notes on my computer while I'm listening. It's wonderful. It is so worth it.
I love hearing that. I've been on the call since day one. James is now a friend of mine, and I am in his private mastermind, and that call has changed the trajectory of my business. I wouldn't be a productivity coach without that call. I wouldn't be in the LLC without that call. I wouldn't be where I am in real estate without that call. 1,000 agents from around the country drop on every day. It is time zone dependent so it's 7:30 for me on the East Coast, 7:30 to 8:20. But yeah, he's in Tampa, so he'll market it at 7:30 Eastern. But yeah, if you can't ever catch it live, catch the recording.
And I'll also mention too, that is a time when some people are walking, or they're jogging, or on some type of exercise at home, and so they're listening while they're working out. So I'm in Dallas, Texas. So for us, it's 6:30 to 7:30. So I have just put it into my schedule and I just listen.
Listen, the Tulio Pena is in Colorado. He's on that call every day on the Peloton, whatever. Alice and Brent Batchel are in Riverside, California. They are on that call every day. It is 5:30 in the morning. No, 4:30. 4:30 in the morning, and they're on that call every day. To get on the Zoom, go to jamesdshaw.com. I put the link in the chat and click join the free daily call. But if you join the pivot group, there's always links in there on how to get on the call. But jamesdshaw.com, click on join the free daily call. I feel like I mimic him now when I say that, because that's what he said. It's like I feel like I'm like on TV doing my commercial.
Thank you.
I know, Janice, that's a good idea. Well, it was intended to be before the 8 o'clock mark, but then my internet freaked out. The timing did not work on my behalf. Anyways, all right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for sticking with me for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I appreciate y'all. Go sell a house, don't come back without a contract.
Jolie, real quick,
Yes, ma'am.
what day is this call? The
Monday
James,
through Friday,
okay, and Eastern time, you said 7:30 a.m.?
7:30 Eastern till 8:20. It goes live from 8 to 8:20, so it's recorded. If you go to his YouTube channel, every call since March of 2020 is on there. He started it during COVID when we were on shutdown, and he thought we'd be on the call for a couple months. It was everybody shook everything out, and 5.5 years later, here we are. Every day.
Thank you.
I can't imagine starting my day without that call. I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any last minutes before we head off?
You said J.D. Shaw, right?
James.
Oh, James. Oh, okay.
James D. Shaw. Yeah,
Got
James.
it. Thank
He's
you.
not a Jim. He's not a Jimmy. People have tried, but he's James.
D. Shaw. Okay.
And could anybody join that call, or do you have to be Keller Williams agents?
Anybody can join that call. It's non-denominational.
Okay.
There's
Thank you.
agents from all different brokerages. LPT, EXP, Coldwell Banker, independent brokerages.
Okay.
There are a lot of KW agents because he did used to work for KW, and there's a lot of KW speak, but
Anybody can join. Okay.
you don't even have to be a real estate agent. You can be real estate adjacent. There's home warranty reps in there. There's mortgage brokers, inspectors.
Okay.
It's like a good group for learning how, if you're in a business where you benefit from repeat and referral clients, it's a great group and call for you to be on.
Okay, I'll be checking it out. Thank you.
Jolie,
What?
one question. In the case for the listen presentation, with what platform do you buy it? Is
Etsy.
Canva again? Which
Etsy.
one?
Etsy. ETSY. Etsy.
ETHY.
ETSY. I'll put it in the chat. Etsy. ETSY.com.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I don't know.
And Jolly, real quick, did I hear you say that you buy your Keller Williams folders from Amazon?
Sure do. There's not that many options on Amazon because I think because of licensing and stuff, somebody's selling it. I don't know. It was cheaper than Keller. It was, don't tell Gary, but it was cheaper than Keller Ink and I got it in 2 days. So.
And the letters too, you can find it there.
The who?
The letters that you send, for example, to the leasing agents once you sign the contract,
What
or
do you
something
mean?
like that. Like at the carton that you can write the letters.
Yeah, I
From
guess.
Keller
I
Williams.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you want to get KW, I just get regular note cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not trying
Sounds
to be
good.
fancy. I have some that have a J on them. Those are cute. Yeah, I just had a note card. But yeah, if you want
Sounds
to
good.
do KW one, I don't know. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye. Oh, trying to sign up for the call, but it says for authorized only. You need to sign up with you need to have a free Zoom account and use the email address that's attached to your Zoom account. That's the way that's the way he doesn't let bots in. All the AI stuff. So yeah, create a free Zoom account if you don't have it and use the email address associated with your Zoom account. Okay. Email me with any questions. I'm here. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to have your referrals in Southeast Michigan or South Florida. Thanks. All right. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Jolie.
you.
Bye. Good night.
Good night. Okay. Oh, let me end this.